Have you ever wanted your own TV show? Have you dreamed of showcasing your talent for the world to see? Well, now you can. Have your own TV show. You can have your own 30-minute show. Not only will you be seen in the Detroit area, but you can be viewed worldwide. Be seen on WHPR Detroit Live, Comcast Cable Channel 91, on the web at TV33WHPR.com, with the TV33 app, on Roku, Google TV, Apple TV, and on Amazon Fire TV. Act now. Time slots are limited. Sign up today and get a free replay with the purchase of your time slot. For more information, call 313-868-6612. Visit our studios and receive a free TV interview to promote your business, church, or organization by appointment only.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and that Muhammad is his messenger and exalted Christ. I greet you in the greeting words of peace, Assalamu alaikum, which means peace be unto you. And I welcome you to another episode of Self-Improvement Ministries. There's so much going on in our world today. So much struggle, so much strife. We could talk about COVID-19 and the over 500,000 people who have died from it. We could talk about the COVID vaccine, not proven to work, that has produced many different side effects, but is being pressured on the people. We could speak on the continued fighting in the Middle East and the injustice against Palestinian people, or we can look out our own front door and point out violence in our community. It's getting hot outside. The music is getting louder. Weed smoke in the air. Guns are out. Shooting starts. Murder in our streets. Murder numbers higher than ever. We can talk about police brutality, injustice, a broken healthcare system, a broken educational system. We could follow the pastors pushing Jesus, 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 or the Muslims saying Muhammad, 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 which has become no different than the politicians screaming Republican or Democrat. Not even breaching the problems in your home. A lack of finance, bills piling up, domestic violence and other issues going on right in your home. See, it's so much that we could talk about. All of what I mentioned and so much more. And the reality that I'm learning is that if we corrected all of the things that I mentioned, but the individual, the human being, is not corrected, then it's all for naught. We could correct all those problems, straighten out all those issues, but if the human being, who all those problems, the mind, it comes from the mind of the human being. So if you just correct the problem, then another problem comes out of the mind of another damaged human being. So until the human being is corrected, says the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the problems that we see will continue to exist. Isn't that something? So we spend all this money correcting problems, fixing things up, repairing the roads and fixing the bridges and straightening this problem out and straightening this problem out. But the money isn't present to re-educate the human being. Issues of poverty, issues of war, issues of murder, issues of the misuse of religion, the oppression of humanity for financial gain, the injustice will continue on until the human being from which it all sprouts is cleaned out and improved. This is why the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, whom I am blessed to represent to you today, says self-improvement is the basis for community development. So in this brief moment that we have together, I want to talk to us about us. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad once said to us, "Whoever knows himself knows God." I want to say it again. Whomever knows himself knows God. Well, Jesus said something similar. He said, you won't be able to say, here it is or there it is, for the kingdom of God is within. The Apostle Paul said, know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? So it all lines up with the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad when he says, whoever knows himself knows God. This is major. For the majority of the world have been taught that God is in the sky and we can't meet God until after we die. This may explain why the majority of the world suffers from poverty and want. We're taught that this is a slave teaching, the perfect teaching that a slave master would give a slave, to be good to your earthly masters, to be kind and decent. If he slaps you, turn the other cheek. And if you're good and you're kind, after you die, you'll be able to meet God and go to heaven. It's a slave teaching. Now, I want to be very clear. This teaching from the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan can help any human being who applies it. But I'm speaking specifically to the black man and black woman of America. We who don't know who we are. We who have been miseducated concerning ourselves. We have a misunderstanding of the person that we see when we look in the mirror. And when you truly don't know self, understand self, then you can't have a clear understanding of what you are even here for. Why are you on this planet, black man? Have you ever asked yourself that question? Why am I on the planet? Why am I on the planet? Why are you on the planet, black woman? Have you asked yourself, why are you even on this planet? Why are you in this universe? Is it to eat lobster and wear a bikini in Miami? Is that why you're here? Is it to wear Cartier glasses and ride in a flashy car that you can't afford? Is that why you're here? Is it to get married, have children, then die not too long after? Is that why you're here? Why are you here, black man? Why are you here, black woman? To vote for politicians who never deliver? Is that why you're here? Get out to vote, brother. Your vote matters, is what they say. But none of them have delivered for you. That can't be why you're here. Why are you here, black man? Why are you here, black woman? Is it to work 30 years for Ford, for GM, for Chrysler, and tell everybody I got a good job, then you die? Are you here to rap a rap song, to dribble a basketball, to make a touchdown, to model yourself on Instagram? Why are you here? That's a question I want you at the end of the show. Once the show goes off, I want you to ask yourself that question. Why am I here? What's the purpose? Why am I here? It has to be a bigger purpose. When you look at the sky and you look at the sun, knowing that the sun is 93 million miles from the earth, and the light from the sun helps the earth rotate at 1,037 and 1/3 miles per hour. Without all that going on, everything on earth would die. How the sun heats up and the water from the earth goes up. We call it fog. It gets heavy, then it falls back down in the form of rain to fertilize the earth. Man, that process is too perfect for you not to understand why you are here. If we don't know why we're here, then we're lost from the very start. You at the party, but you don't even know who invited you. You don't know who you bringing a gift for. So you just standing at the party, enjoying the scenery. But you have no effect, no input on what's going on around you because you don't even know why you're there, why you're here. So we, as black people, teaches the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, we represent that lost sheep mentioned in the Bible. The sheep made lost by our enemies who took us as slaves. Now, this is a real history. I'm not trying to pull hatred out. But I'm trying to have us look at actual facts, look at an entire picture instead of a piece of a picture. Because if you just look at your condition today, man, you say, man, I ain't worth nothing. Because you're just looking at a piece of it. But if you look at the whole picture, then you could understand the anatomy of how you got where you're at right now. And if you're not 100% satisfied with where you stand today, then you have to look back behind you to see how you got to that state of dissatisfaction. So we were made lost by our enemies who took us as slaves, who taught us and trained us to serve them. That's why you think GM is a good job. That's why you think Ford is a good job. Because you've been taught and trained, black man, to serve them. See, I know you don't like it. But we have to look at it and acknowledge the past, because the past connects us to our present and can aid us in producing a bright future. A people enslaved, robbed of our language, our culture, our God. And as Khaled said, many of us, by the way we act, we even lost our mind or was robbed of our mind. We were taught during slavery that we were meant to be slaves. We were taught during slavery that we were an ugly people. We were taught during slavery that we were a cursed people. Taught about a white Jesus that many of us still have on our walls. Taught about a white Jesus that many of our churches still have in the sanctuaries. A white Jesus on white clouds, white angels surrounded by pearly white gates. No black anywhere. Even though the Bible that they were teaching from identified parts of Africa. What a devil. See, our enemy did a mind trick on us so that today we don't know why. We don't know self. We don't understand self, which is the most important thing. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, brothers and sisters, it's the knowledge of self that the so-called Negro lacks, which keeps him or her from enjoying freedom, justice, and equality. So since we don't have a knowledge of self, we just hear. We're like that lion that you've seen in the circus. The lion taken as a baby, as a cub, trained now to sit up, trained to jump through hoops, trained to be docile and perform certain tricks while in a cage. You've seen him do it to elephants. That big old creature, man, trained to stand up on his hind legs, trained to do certain things that it's not naturally supposed to be doing. So you're looking at a lion trained to, now he jumps through hoops. The ringmasters lead him through hoops and have him jump through hoops of fire and stand up on his hind legs. But that is not the lion's nature. The lion, is dominant by nature, not docile. The lion, is king of his environment, not to be played or toyed with. But since he has been trained, his nature seems non-existent. However, if he comes in contact with the real lion, a free lion, the real lion, can expose the trained lion to his nature. So that when the trainer or the ringmaster comes back in the cage, he will rip the trainer's head completely off. So is the same with the black man and black woman of America. You have to come in contact with an original man, an original woman. We have to come in contact with someone who has a knowledge of self, an understanding of self, so that we can get back to where we belong. And where do we belong? You don't belong at the bottom of civilization, black man and black woman. You belong at the top of civilization. But we can't get on top unless we have the right things up top. So the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says, get knowledge in your head, get wisdom in your head, get understanding in your head. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who is one made free by the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, is trying to reacquaint us with our nature. He's not asking you to do what he says do. He's giving us information that will help us get closer to our natural self. Not to tear anyone's heads off, but to tear off the head and the way of thinking that white people have given us. Leprosy of the mind, white-mindedness. You think like your enemy. Therefore, you and I have become enemies of ourselves. Side of the cigarette pack says causes cancer. But since you're against self, you smoking anyways. The food that you eat, the doctors tell you it's causing high blood pressure, causing diabetes, but look at you, you continue to eat it. When the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave us a book, How to Eat to Live, so that we can be made better. I remember my brother Khalid Muhammad saying, hey man, I prayed or I wished that cocaine was black, because if it was black, you would say, I ain't putting that black stuff in my nose. That's a reality. We don't want nothing like ourselves, man. So he's trying to train us to tear off the head and the way of thinking given us by white people. Because since our enemy taught us, we've become an enemy to ourselves. So we look in our communities, we're fighting and killing one another. Rappers, now they got money, but they still fighting and killing one another because it speaks to us a mindset. So we got to change the way that they've taught us, brothers and sisters. So when they say you're nothing, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says that you're great. When they say that you're thugs and hoodlums, that you're a curse, Farrakhan says that you're God's chosen people. Remember the quote I gave from the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Whoever knows himself knows God. You are the original man. You are the original woman, created in the image and likeness of God. You are the creators of science, the creators of mathematics. Your blood is of royal lineage. So the messenger also said, every time I look at a black man or black woman, I'm looking at God. You are not on this planet blessed with life to just work at General Motors. You're not here on his planet blessed with life to get a degree and then still live mediocre. You're not blessed with life to be on this planet living and struggling and going through poverty and all the pain and the issues that you go through on a daily basis. That's not the life that God had for you. That's what your enemy has set up for you and put you in by robbing us of the knowledge of ourselves. You're not here to be a tool for somebody else. But God made you in his image and likeness so that you would wield tools and use tools. But right now, as black people, we've become tools for everybody else. So you look at an NBA game, an NFL game, you got all the black players on the field being used as tools to fuel the white man's pockets. General Motors, Ford Motor Company, all these plants, which is short for plantation, using us as fuel and tools to fuel their economy. You're not here for that, brother. Remember the question, why am I here? Why am I present? Why has God chosen me to give me life? Why? It got to be more than what I'm seeing. You're more useful than that. You're more valuable than that. Why are you here? It ain't to work for the white man. It's not to, get in some program and be a truck driver. It ain't to do, the things that we're proud of. And there's nothing wrong with those things. There's nothing wrong with getting a degree. There's nothing wrong with having a decent paying job, making a decent wage. But you're bigger than that. You black man, you black woman are here on this earth to rule it, not to be ruled. You're here on this earth to be the vicegerent of God. Vicegerent means one who stands in the place of another. That's your role. Because you're the one created in his image and after his likeness. And it's your duty as black people to bring this people on his planet in submission to do his will. You are so great, but just don't know it. You are such a beautiful people, but you just don't understand it. You are so fantastic and phenomenal, but when you look in the mirror, you just don't see it. Because you see it based upon your enemy's eyes. So when you look in the mirror, when we look in the mirror, we see not good enough, not pretty enough, not smart enough. Because we're in his world. And he shapes the picture. But the most honorable Elijah Muhammad came to give us another picture, the real picture. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is coming with another picture, the real picture. Not the fake picture that you saw of Jesus or the so-called Jesus at the Last Supper. A bunch of crackers. That's not the real picture. Michelangelo painted that, man. And it ain't like he was sitting there painting it while they were eating. Because if he did that, it would look more like the Good Times painting. You know where it ends? When the guy's like, you know what I'm talking about. But you got to see yourself better. We have to see ourselves better. That's where it starts at. Self-improvement being the basis for community development. So all the other issues that we talked about, they don't mean nothing if you're not improved. They don't mean nothing if I'm not improved. We can march against police brutality. We can march for fair housing. We can march and ask for people to treat us with decency. We can go to the church. We can give our money. We can go to college and get a degree and get a nice job. But in this world, the man with the degree can walk out his house, get in his car, get pulled over by police, and get murdered on the spot, just like the thug in the street. And justice won't be served. Because this world doesn't respect us. This world isn't meant for us, so we have to respect ourselves, and we have to get a knowledge of ourselves, and we got to apply what we know to ourselves so that we can stand up. The real man or woman inside of us that has been buried by this world can stand up. Self-improvement, the basis for community development. Your role, brothers and sisters, is to bring this planet into submission to God, the God that you are created in the image and likeness of. You are beautiful, you are fantastic, you are phenomenal. You are created in the image and likeness of God, but you just don't know it. So we're going to put a pin in it this week, and we'll pick up this subject next Wednesday, same time, same channel, TV 33 WHPR. I love you and I thank you for listening and watching as I greet you with the greetings of peace. Assalamu alaikum.
No.